They lied to you. They said God wants you comfortable, safe, relaxed, at peace. That's not how men are made. Comfort doesn't shape men. Comfort erases them. If God wanted you soft, He would have given you an easy life. But He didn't. He gave you pressure, loss, loneliness, failure that keeps coming back, not to break you, to expose you. Because weak men collapse when life gets heavy. Strong men are revealed by it. Look at your life. If everything was easy, you wouldn't be here searching for answers. You'd be asleep. Pain wasn't an accident. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't unfair. It was selection. God doesn't waste suffering on men He doesn't plan to use. That pressure you feel, that constant weight on your chest, that feeling that you're meant for more but stuck in hell, that's not depression. That's responsibility knocking. You were not shaped in comfort. Comfort creates boys who complain. Comfort creates men who quit. Comfort creates excuses with good reasons. Pain creates something else. Pain strips you down. Pain removes your lies. Pain shows you who you are when nobody's watching. That's why your life hit harder than others. Not because you're unlucky, because you're not average. Every man God uses deeply is first wounded deeply. Read history, not Instagram quotes. Moses didn't grow in peace. David wasn't trained in safety. Job wasn't tested gently. They were crushed before they were trusted. Because power in the hands of an untested man destroys him. So God tests first. And here's the part nobody tells you. If you try to escape this pain, you don't escape suffering. You escape your purpose. The men who numb themselves, distract themselves, hide in comfort. They don't become happy. They become hollow, alive but never dangerous, breathing but never respected, existing but never fulfilled. This pain is asking you a question. Not why me? That's a weak question. The real question is, will you rise or run? Because from this point forward, there are only two types of men. The ones who let pain turn them bitter, and the ones who let pain turn them into weapons. God didn't shape you in comfort. He forged you in pain. And forging is violent for a reason. Locked, continuing. Same tone, same cold U.S. energy, no softness. Why most men fail the test. Here's the real problem. Pain doesn't destroy most men. Comfort does. Pain shows up once in a while. Comfort surrounds you every day. And comfort is seductive. It tells you you've been through enough. You deserve rest. Just slow down. You can do it tomorrow. And slowly, you stop becoming dangerous. Modern life isn't built to make strong men. It's built to neutralize them. Food on demand. Entertainment on demand. Validation on demand. Pleasure without effort. Everything easy. Everything instant. And when everything is easy, discipline feels unnecessary. That's how men rot quietly. Not from suffering, from overcomfort. Most men don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they never choose hardness. They numb the pain instead of learning from it. They scroll, they drink, they chase dopamine. They call it self-care. But self-care without discipline is self-destruction with better branding. Here's what happens next. You stop pushing. You stop demanding more from yourself. You stop expecting greatness. And without noticing, your standards drop. You wake up one day and realize you haven't grown in years. Same habits, same body, same mindset, different calendar. That's not life moving fast. That's life standing still while you age. Pain tried to wake you up, but comfort tucked you back to sleep. That's why most men hate silence. That's why they can't sit alone. That's why they fear boredom. Because in silence, they hear the truth. I'm not who I said I'd become. God didn't design you to be entertained. He designed you to be tested. And when the test comes, most men negotiate. Maybe later. Maybe after this phase. Maybe when life calms down. Life doesn't calm down. It selects. This is why so many men feel lost. Not because they lack direction, but because they keep choosing comfort over conviction. They pray for strength while avoiding resistance. They ask for purpose while running from pain. And God stays silent, not because he doesn't hear them, but because the answer has already been given. The pain is the instruction, continuing. Same cold pressure, same U.S. tone, no relief. Why the pain keeps coming back. Here's the part most men don't want to hear. The pain keeps repeating because you keep avoiding the lesson. God doesn't punish randomly. He repeats. Same patterns. Same losses. Same failures in different forms. Different faces. Different places. Same feeling. That's not bad luck. That's unfinished work. Every time you run from discomfort, life doesn't get easier. It gets louder. First, it whispers. Then it pushes. Then it hits. Not because it hates you, but because you're still asleep. Oh, pain escalates when ignored. Most men think, if I just escape this phase, I'll be fine. But there is no escape, only postponement. And postponed pain always returns, with interest. Stronger, sharper, less patient. Here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your discipline. And discipline is forged only when things are uncomfortable. That's why God removes support. That's why he allows isolation. That's why he lets you fail publicly. Because comfort hides weakness. Pain exposes it. This is the moment that splits men. Some say, this is too much. Others say, make me more. Same pain, different response. One becomes bitter, the other becomes dangerous. Look closely at your lowest moments. You weren't weak there. You were honest. No ego, no pretending, no mask. That version of you, that's the raw material. Pain strips you down, so God can build you back without lies. But here's where most men quit. Right before clarity, right before strength, right before respect. They retreat to comfort and call it wisdom. It's not wisdom. It's fear in a calm voice. You weren't meant to be understood by everyone. You were meant to be sharpened. And sharpening hurts. Steel doesn't complain when it meets friction. It becomes a blade. Men do. That's why most never become one. The pain isn't asking for your sympathy. It's asking for your decision. Stay the same, or step into the fire. Because once you choose comfort, you choose the same life. Once you choose pain, you choose change. Continuing. Now we shift from exposure to control. How strong men use pain. Here's the difference between men who break and men who are forged. Strong men don't ask, how do I escape this? They ask, how do I use this? Pain is not your enemy. It's raw energy. Uncontrolled, it destroys you. Directed, it rebuilds you. The first rule, stop emotional negotiation. Pain is not a discussion. It doesn't care about your mood. It doesn't respond to motivation. So stop asking, do I feel like it? That question creates weak men. Replace it with, what must be done? That question creates leaders. Second rule, turn chaos into structure. Pain without structure becomes depression. Pain with structure becomes discipline. Structure is simple. Fixed wake time, fixed work blocks, physical stress daily, silence without distraction. Not because it's trendy, because it removes excuses. Order is how men regain control. Third rule, choose voluntary hardship. If you don't choose difficulty, life will choose it for you. And life's version is always crueler. Cold showers, hard training, deep focus, delayed gratification. Not to punish yourself. To remind your nervous system who's in control. Most men wait for motivation. Strong men train without it. Because motivation is emotional, discipline is spiritual. And God trusts disciplined men. Fourth rule, suffer forward. Never suffer and stay the same. Every loss must upgrade you. Every failure must sharpen you. Every rejection must harden your standards. If pain doesn't make you stronger, you wasted it. And wasted pain is the most expensive currency. This is where clarity appears. Not in comfort, not in pleasure, not in distraction, but in controlled suffering. That's why monks isolate. That's why warriors train alone. That's why men grow in silence. Noise weakens. Silence builds. You don't need a new personality. You need standards. Standards for your time. Standards for your body. Standards for your thoughts. Pain becomes manageable when your standards are non-negotiable. This is how men stop being fragile. Not by avoiding pain, by mastering it. Continuing. Now we move from discipline to identity, becoming the man. God trusts. God doesn't trust men who seek happiness. He trusts men who can carry weight. Happiness is emotional. Responsibility is structural. One fades, the other builds. That's why the strongest men you know aren't chasing joy. They're carrying burdens. Strength is not about dominance. It's about reliability. Can you be counted on when it's boring, when it's painful, when nobody claps? Most men disappear when praise disappears. That's why they're never chosen. God doesn't hand responsibility to emotional men. He hands it to men who remain steady under pressure. Men who don't collapse when things don't go their way. Men who don't need permission to do what's right. Here's the truth nobody advertises. You don't find meaning. You become worthy of it. Meaning shows up when you're strong enough to hold it. That's why weak men feel empty. Not because life is cruel, but because responsibility hasn't arrived yet. This is where pain finishes its work. It removes your need to be liked, to be understood, to be comfortable. You stop performing. You start executing. Strong men don't announce growth. They move differently. They speak less. They tolerate less nonsense. Their presence feels heavy. Not loud, not aggressive. Grounded. This is what forging looks like. Not confidence, not hype, not motivation. Depth. Depth only comes from staying when others quit. If God gave you pain early, it wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Preparation for leadership. Preparation for responsibility. Preparation for weight others can't carry. Continuing. Now we draw the line. No middle ground. Two futures, one choice. There are two versions of you. One is comfortable. One is forged. Both are possible. Only one is respected. The comfortable man chooses ease. He wakes up late. He avoids confrontation. He delays hard decisions. He numbs himself at night. Nothing is wrong with his life. And that's the problem. No pressure, no demand, no edge. Just repetition. Years pass. Potential decays. Regret grows quietly. The forged man lives differently. He feels resistance daily. His life is heavier, but his mind is clear. He doesn't need motivation. He doesn't need validation. He doesn't need approval. He has direction. Comfort promises peace, but it delivers stagnation. Pain promises nothing, but it delivers growth. The comfortable man asks, "Why is life so hard?" The forged man asks, "What is this making me?" One complains, one adapts. One blames circumstances, one becomes the circumstance. Here's the cost nobody talks about. Comfort costs you respect. Not just from others, from yourself. That's the most dangerous loss. When you stop respecting yourself, everything collapses. Standards, discipline, identity. The forged man pays a different price. Loneliness, misunderstanding, pressure. But he gains something rare. Self-trust. He knows he won't quit. He knows he won't fold. He knows he can carry weight. That certainty changes everything. This is why pain feels unfair. It's selective. Not everyone is meant to be forged. Some men are meant to be consumers. Some are meant to be spectators. And some are meant to be builders. Builders are always tested first. You already know which path you're on. Your discomfort is proof. Good. Now we stop talking philosophy. Now we build the man. How forged men actually live. Being forged is not a mindset. It's a daily operating system. And this is where most men fail. They agree with the truth, but they don't restructure their lives around it. A forged man doesn't feel different. He acts different. Every day. Rule 1. Structure before emotion. Forged. Men don't ask, "What do I feel like doing today?" They ask, "What must be done?" Emotion is unreliable. Structure is not. Wake time. Training. Work. Silence. Sleep. Same order. Same standard. Not because it's fun, because it removes negotiation. When there's no debate, there's no weakness. Rule 2. Daily resistance is non-negotiable. If your life has no resistance, you are decaying. Every day must contain something hard. Physical strain, mental pressure, voluntary discomfort, cold exposure. Training when tired. Silence instead of noise. Doing the thing you're avoiding. Resistance keeps the edge sharp. Comfort dulls it. Rule 3. Silence over expression. The world trained men to talk. Forged men observe. They don't explain plans. They don't vent emotions. They don't seek understanding. They execute quietly. Results speak. Noise leaks power. If you need to announce it, you're not ready. Rule 4. Control the body or it controls you. Your body is not a suggestion. It is a tool. Train it. Feed it with intention. Deny it excess. Hunger teaches discipline. Fatigue teaches endurance. Control teaches authority. A man who can't govern his body will never govern his life. Rule 5. Remove escape routes. Forged men don't rely on motivation because motivation disappears. They rely on no exit systems, no backup plans, no comfort addictions, no soft landing. Burn the bridges, lock the doors, force adaptation. Pressure reveals capability. Rule 6. Accept loneliness as the price. If you're serious, you will outgrow people. This is not arrogance, it's math. Different standards, different rhythms, different priorities. Forged men don't chase belonging. They carry solitude with discipline. Loneliness sharpens, crowds dilute. Rule 7. Live as if you are being watched, not by people, by God. Forged men move with internal accountability. They don't need applause. They don't need praise. They ask one question: would I respect myself if I quit? If the answer is no, they continue. This is how a man becomes dangerous in the right way. Not loud, not chaotic, and not emotional. Controlled, disciplined, unbreakable. Good. Now we cross the line most men never come back from. The point of no return. Most men change habits. Few men change identity. Habits break under pressure. Identity does not. A forged man does not try to be disciplined. He is disciplined. And once identity locks in, comfort loses its grip forever. Identity shifts the moment a man stops asking, how do I improve my life? And starts asking, what kind of man does this action prove I am? That question changes everything. Because now every choice is a vote. Every workout, every early morning, every time you don't quit. You are voting for the man you are becoming. And forged men do not miss votes. Why most men fall back. Most men relapse into comfort because deep down, they still see discipline as temporary. They think, I'll do this until I feel better. Forged men think, this is who I am now. No finish line, no exit, no retirement. The work is the identity. Here is the brutal truth. You cannot carry your old identity forward. The man who avoided pressure, who needed motivation, who escaped discomfort, he must die. Not emotionally, structurally. Different schedule, different standards, different tolerance for pain. If nothing in your life has been removed, nothing has truly changed. Forged men live by standards, not goals. Goals end. Standards do not. Goals say, I'll work until I achieve this. Standards say, this is how I live. A forged man doesn't aim to train. He trains. He doesn't aim to be focused. He is focused. He doesn't aim to be strong. Strength is non-negotiable. This is when the transformation becomes irreversible. When you wake up tired and then move anyway. When no one is watching and you execute anyway. When progress is invisible and you continue anyway. That's not discipline anymore. That's identity. God does not trust men who need to feel ready. Read that again. Men waiting to feel ready are men waiting to avoid responsibility. Forged men move while uncertain, while tired, while unmotivated. Because obedience is not emotional, it is behavioral. This is the turning point. Comfort starts feeling dangerous. Ease feels suspicious. Rest without work feels wrong. Not because you're extreme, but because your nervous system recalibrated. Pressure feels normal. Resistance feels correct. Stillness feels earned. The world can't pull you back after this. Once identity locks in, external noise loses power. Criticism doesn't slow you. Praise doesn't inflate you. Distraction doesn't tempt you. Because your life is no longer up for negotiation. You are not experimenting. You are embodying. Good. Now we talk about the part nobody warned you about. Why life gets harder after you commit. Most men think discipline makes life easier. It doesn't. It makes you stronger. So life is allowed to demand more from you. This is the final misunderstanding that breaks weak men. Why pressure increases after commitment. The moment you stop running, life stops chasing gently. It starts testing. Not because you're being punished, but because you've proven you can carry weight. Forged men don't get softer paths. They get heavier assignments. Pain is not random, it is targeted. Weak men experience chaos. Forged men experience precision pressure, loss, isolation, responsibility, delayed reward. Each one is placed exactly where it sharpens you. Pain is not a setback. It is a tool. Not loudly, not dramatically. They slow down, they compromise, they rationalize. They say, "I've already done enough." That sentence is the doorway back to comfort. Forged. Men never say it. God does not remove the weight. He increases your capacity. You prayed for strength. Strength answers through resistance. You prayed for clarity. Clarity answers through pressure. You prayed for purpose. Purpose answers through responsibility. God does not explain the load. He watches how you carry it. Pain strips the last illusions. This is where ego dies. No recognition, no applause, no reassurance. Only work. Pain removes the fantasy version of you and leaves only what's real. What remains is who you truly are. After enough pain, fear loses authority. You realize nothing kills you except quitting. So you stop fearing effort. You stop fearing judgment. You stop fearing loneliness. Because you've already survived worse. Here's the line. On one side are men who want comfort with meaning. On the other, men who accept suffering for purpose. Most men step back. A few step forward. History is written by the few. Pain becomes a signal, not a warning. Pain stops meaning, "Something is wrong." It starts meaning, "Something is being built." And when that switch flips, nothing can control you anymore. Good. Now there is no theory left, only a decision. This is where men separate permanently. Do not feel inspired. Do not feel emotional. Do not feel motivated. Those feelings fade. What matters now is what you decide. This is the moment most men wait. They nod. They agree. They save the video. They feel something. Then they return to the same life. That is how men die quietly. Not from failure, from delay. Understand this clearly. No one is coming. No perfect moment is forming. No motivation will arrive to carry you. God does not rescue men from responsibility. He waits to see who steps into it. Not easy, simple. Wake up earlier than comfort wants. Train even when the body resists. Sit in silence instead of seeking noise. Carry weight without complaint. Remove one escape route, just one. Today. And no posts, no speeches, no promises. Move quietly. The man who announces change is still asking for permission. Forged. Men take it, you will feel alone. You will feel tired. You will feel misunderstood. Good. That means you are no longer living for approval. This is not a 30-day challenge. This is not self-improvement. This is self-ownership. There is no end date. There is only a standard. One question to carry for life. Every time you want to quit, every time comfort whispers, every time fear slows your hand, ask this: if I stop now, will I respect myself later? If the answer is no, you continue. No drama, no emotion, no negotiation. This is how men are forged. Not by words, not by belief, not by intention. By pressure, by repetition, by refusal to fold. You are not shaped for ease. You are not designed to blend in. You were not created to live softly. You were forged. Now live like it.